Good morning, everyone. This is Milan Desai from Easy Data Munch, and we are going to talk about today how we can leverage Qlik and related technologies and predictive technologies for financial analysis and forecasting purpose. I'm going to allow about 4 or 5 minutes for more participants to join, and then we'll start sharp at 10:05. So just hang on for a few more minutes, and we'll be starting our webinar today. Thank you. Couple of more minutes, and we'll be on our start our webinar. Also, to give some more information around this webinar, we will be conducting more webinars following the series regarding sales and customer-related data sets and how we can analyze them and use predictive forecasting and so on and so forth. So keep watching out for our webinar series. You can visit our website, and all the information about upcoming webinars will be there, as well as we have conducted a few other webinars in the past, so you will be able to look at all those videos on our website. So if you want to download and watch some of those webinars that we conducted in the past, should be there, and there is a lot of other information on our website regarding various other areas. So please feel free to register and use the information from our website. So it's 10:05. So let's start. So again, my name is Milan Desai. I'm the head of solutions for Easy Data Munch. And we are a BI solutions company. So briefly, a couple of minutes on who we are and what we do, and then we'll jump directly into financial analysis space. Typical data insight challenges for every finance manager, business manager here, multiple data sources. We're looking at different ERP systems, CRM systems, operational data sources. We have seen a lot of times organizations are not able to aggregate data in the right way. Getting IT team to work on data warehouse projects or any other technology platform takes a lot of time and consumes a lot of resources and bandwidth from finance organizations. So these are some of the real and practical challenges, and that's the reason we are seeing most widely tool used by finance organization is Excel, and basically the data is provided to the finance team, and they use Excel to create all the reports for an analysis that they need to do. So I think so some of the key aspects that a finance team looks at is where is my exact financial position today, and how does it compare with my peers? What are the risk and revenue and assets at the business level? Do I get a 360-degree view of my business in terms of revenue, sales, customer, expenses, operations, HR, and a lot of those areas, and executive performance, I think, so is one of the key as well. Technology, as I said, that having different applications, having different platforms does complicate the problem, and organizations tend to spend a lot of time trying to get the right data. I think that's one of the key things that theme that we keep seeing everywhere. Excel, as I said, is one of the most widely used and most popular tool used by finance team, and rightly so. But there are challenges using Excel because you have to do a lot of things manually, sharing, security, and a lot of those aspects are a challenge when it comes down to Excel. So we will show you how we can use a tool like Qlik, which can give advantage by converting Excel-based reports and all still giving you the flexibility that you need in terms of using Excel. Transparency and accurate report is a challenge, so we'll talk about some of these aspects. What are the kind of playbooks? So Easy Data Munch being is a solutions company, we provide predefined playbooks and solutions for various departments within an organization, and our playbooks are tailor-made for a specific industry. So, for example, we have playbooks for restaurant industry, we have playbooks for hotel industry, or we have hospitals, we have manufacturing customers, we have retail customers, we have banking customers. So each of these playbooks are actually geared towards the organization and the industry per se. So now the KPIs that you see are very specific to those industries. So some of the playbooks that we have are around CFOs dashboard, executive reporting, financial planning, forecasting. We use predictive tools like statistical tools like R and some of the other things to predict and forecast. So we will show you an example of that. MIS reporting, so a lot of reports that you have to send out, either a daily report or a weekly report that has to go out as a pack to various users within your organizations. Travel and entertainment expense, I think, is one of the biggest category of spend we have seen in our organizations, and we provide some very quality analysis on this, including the fraud or personal expenses kind of thing, spend analysis, billing, and customer. So as you can see, a lot of these aspects are typically looked at by finance organizations on a day-to-day basis. And we have a portfolio of almost 100 plus applications today that cater to finance department, finance organization. So let's quickly jump into what we do in terms of the solution and how we can utilize Qlik. A little bit information about Qlik. Qlik is a BI platform, which a company that is in existence for more than 15 years now. they were listed on New York Stock Exchange till recently, and they went private last month. They have more than 40,000 customers worldwide and a lot of users. So it's been rated by Gartner as one of the leaders platform as far as BI is concerned. So again, a fairly reputable company, a lot of customers, a lot of users, and a fairly large economic footprint in terms of the customers, partners, and so on and so forth. But whatever we are going to show you today, it can be implemented in any technology or stack that you might be using internally, be it Microsoft, be it Oracle, be it IBM. So a lot of these features are available in most of those platforms. They do vary, but we can get most of what we are trying to show you today. So let's go to the solution itself. So we will go and so this is an example of application. So we will start with the financial performance. So for example, here, this is an executive application where we are looking at finance dashboard. We are looking at ranking of various employees. So how exactly the data comes in? I think let me start with that. So a platform like Qlik allows you to connect to various data sources. So be it an ERP system like SAP, Oracle, JD Edwards, Microsoft, Great Plains, PeopleSoft, Lawson, or even a legacy system like AS400 or mainframe system. We have connectors that can connect to these ERP systems. Not only just the ERP system, but if you are having any other custom system that you are using, we can connect to those systems as well. But typically an organization will have data across multiple applications, so just not ERP, but we're looking at CRM systems, maybe Salesforce.com, maybe internal system, homegrown systems. You may have operational systems internally, so we can connect to all those systems. And what basically we do is we create what we call is business models or data models or data lakes sometimes, which are nothing but predefined, data aggregated, and also the various KPIs that you would like to calculate as a business entity. We also add data like budgeting data or planning data that you may have in applications like Hyperion or any other budgeting system that you might be using. We can also bring in the data from those systems and connect to those data sources. We do have an ability to update this data on a frequent basis, so we can update this data either on a daily basis or an hourly basis. It can be as frequently as you want. So again, from that perspective, so the aspect of connecting to various data sources and blending that data into this kind of an application for analysis is something a platform like Qlik does it very easy. It makes it very easy. You can also bring in data from Excel spreadsheets or any other unstructured data sources that you may have. So it's not just about data from application, but you can also add data. For example, we have customers who have KPIs, who have a list of benchmarks that they would like to use, and these benchmarks can change. So they typically have spreadsheets, or they will have some other form of data sets where this data is stored, and then we bring in that data and then use that data to compare against plan and budgets and forecasts and so on and so forth. So let's quickly go through one example here, and then we can go more and more. We have audience from diverse industries, so we'll try to cover 3 or 4 different types of industries to just cover different things that you can do here. So in this example here, this is just an example here, but this is how typically an application is designed, where you can see your current revenues, your forecast revenues, where you are, what is the trend looks like, what's the prior year or year-on-year variance or comparisons. This can be based on either a location or a department or a branch, so various those kind of things. We are looking at profitability. You can look at a comparative analysis. You can look at your margin analysis in terms of gross profit, net profit. So we will look at that. You can also look at by month. You can look at by different years. Plus, you can also drill down. So let's look at, I want to drill down into a branch type that's called dealership. And I'm going to drill down further into different people who are managing that. So now you are actually getting down at an individual level who are responsible for those departments. We can also look at comparing last revenue, current year's revenue, gross profit margin, net profit margin. So basically, the way the solution allows you to look at is you have data sets coming in, which can be either a couple of years, it can be either for multiple years. So one of the advantages of the solution like this is when you're blending data from ERP systems or other source systems, you are able to bring in data for as long as historical data, as much as you want. So you can bring in, as I said, 3 years worth of data, or we have customers who bring in 15 years worth of data. So it really, the scale of the system in terms of how much it can handle, how much it can really make use of is phenomenal. It can handle millions and millions of records. And that's another advantage, again, something like Excel, where you will have a limitation on utilizing data beyond a certain point. We also can look at margin analysis in terms of how the sales have and what kind of margins you are making on various brands, various products, various services that you are offering to your customer. So idea here is when you get the data, what are the key things that you're looking for? And then you can look at, as you can see here, there are different examples here. So daily sales analysis. So this is giving you an example of there are 31 working days in a month. 19 days are already worked. So this is what you spent. So based on that working, how you are comparing against your forecast for the month and where you are and where you may end up with. You can also look at last year, current year, those kind of aspects. You can look at by accounting period. So a lot of customers that we have follow different accounting period apart from the calendar year. So you may have an accounting period. This is true especially in manufacturing and retail and a restaurant or hospitality kind of area where either you follow a calendar which is specific 454 or you follow a weekly period where your period is actually 4 weeks and things like that. So this really allows you to look at information. As you can see here, now you have an actual forecast and where you actually will end up with based on where you are today. So this gives you a very good perspective of do you have the right pace? Are you going to make up your numbers at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter based on how you are looking at this information, right? And this gives, again, a certainty to a finance organization when you're looking at reporting your numbers to the stakeholders. Then you know exactly that as of today, 17 days have passed, you are probably a little bit behind because your forecast is to grow at 16.53 or at 15.07. You may most likely make up. So as and when you add this data on a daily basis and then you're closer to your month end, you will be more certain whether you will meet your numbers or targets for the month or not. And this really helps finance department to keep a close eye and also from reporting perspective to report it back to the stakeholders. Then there are various aspects like net profit before bonuses and some other different key areas that we have seen our customers are looking for. So how the net profits are working in month over month, are you making money, where you are losing money, which department, which locations, and so on and so forth. So that provides you that kind of analysis. Let's look at another example here. So this is an example of a retail or hospitality company where The KPIs are really looking at the sales number, so different KPIs. So you have sales, net sales increase or decrease versus last year, last period, where you are, percentage-wise. This is a restaurant, so you're looking at daily average in terms of sales, to-go sales, and where they are. Your operating costs, so your major components of your cost are food cost or payroll or operating expenses, people, and shortage. So there are different things that you're looking at here. And then when you're looking at your goal performance, basically, so these are the KPIs or the benchmarks that a company may have. And you're looking at these benchmarks, and this are, let's say I'm going to select a year and a period here. And this will tell me whether I am doing better or worse. So I'm doing worse than my last week, but I'm doing better than my last period. So there are different kinds of benchmarks that you can look at it. So sales-related benchmarks, your operating drivers. So you are looking at your payroll, your food costs, and various other drivers. And there are different other KPIs that you want to track. So we have a list of different KPIs that you're tracking on a daily basis. So this example here, though we are providing you information by day, by week, by period, this data is actually updated every 20 minutes. So we are getting live data coming in and we are updating this data on 20 minutes interval. So every time there is an update happening at any location, we are pulling in those transactions and we are updating the system here. So again, we are looking at millions of records here. We are every transaction that is made through the sales system is coming in. So we are analyzing all these records, aggregating these records, and then providing these kind of analysis, which is updated almost on real-time basis for the customer. You're also looking at different other rolling trends that you're looking at. You're looking at examples of who are your top 5 or who are your bottom 5. So again, you are looking at by week of day, who are your typically, and you can change this to top 5 to top 10 or top 15. So again, the idea here is to show how ease of use this kind of a solution provides as a platform to business users like finance people, because there is no real set way. You have certain reports, certain analysis that you do on a day-to-day basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. But apart from that, when you're really analyzing the performance of an organization, you just want to see what kind of different things are happening, right? So like ranking analysis that we are providing here or rolling analysis that we are providing, you can keep on changing this information. You can look at this information by different executive hierarchy that you have in your organization, or just different benchmarks. So for example, now I want to look at my report card for a specific store or a location. So I'm just going to go and select a specific location here, for example 4. And this is going to give me an example of what's my year-to-date performance of this location and how it is going. So again, a very clear, very easy way, concise way for anybody within the finance team to look at this performance. You can look at this performance on a period-to-date basis or a week-to-date basis. You can also look at the trend. So not only just the numbers in terms of a waterfall here, so what's your sales and how it translates into profit, but also the trend. And this is very important here because the trend can tell you where the issues are. So you're looking at a trend now on the day of the week, but you can also look at trend by week itself or a period. So this gives you there's really your net profits are going up and down on a daily basis, and that really tells you, again, what is the impact of the customers coming in. And again, this is an industry where it's driven by consumer demand and consumers walking in. So obviously, there is definitely kind of variation that you're looking at. But there are certain aspects like food cost, for example, which is one of the major aspects for a restaurant. You're looking at how my food cost is going up and down, and then what is the consistency that you have for this specific store. So that's where you are able to look at and see where you have to make uh, adjustments and decisions. And similarly, like a scorecard, you also have an executive scorecard. So you're looking at that specific executive and seeing what he's managing and how he's managing and things like that. So, and there are, what we've done also, it's once you look at this trend and once you look at this data, you can also look at not just these, but also how the outliers really work. Because at the end of the day, what is more important from an organization perspective is how do my outliers really work. So give me just 1 second. So here's an example where you're looking at your comparative analysis on a yearly basis. And now I want to look at my comparative analysis on outlier. And I think that this is the key here. So as a CFO or a controller, now this is what you get when you are looking at your outliers. So the red, green, and yellow that you're seeing here is based on the benchmark that you provided for a specific KPI. So you can have n number of KPIs that in an organization. Now we have a list of 15 here, but you can have anything that you want to look at, like, say, for example, payroll. So you're looking at your KPI here, and you're looking at people who are violating those benchmarks. And this can be based on either a year-to-date or a period-to-date, or it can be based on the hierarchy that you have, so based on people who are responsible. So who are the guys who are above the benchmarks, who are not performing well, people who are in the range but not really doing great, and so on and so forth. So this is one example. And now we are looking at a comparative analysis here. So look at this information here. So Bobby Garner, who is a senior vice president, who is in charge of multiple locations, he has 6 locations who are performing in green. So they are under the benchmark within the limits that you have for this specific KPI. 16 are in the range, and 18 who are actually above the range. And then you can also see the range, so greater than 25, 25, and 22%. So if your unit payroll is less than 22% of your revenue, then you are in green, and that's what it's showing here. So this way, you can actually look at different people and different benchmarks. And not only you can do that, now I want to see people who have most reds. So for example, Greg Hall has the highest number of reds. I'm going to click on Greg Hall and find out who are the AVPs underneath him who have the highest number of violations. Now we find Literal has the highest number of violations. I'm going to drill down further and figure out what stores he's managing and which stores are having this problem. And now not only when I'm drilling down at this level, I'm now more curious because I think so since he has more violations, I want to see what happens to other KPIs. Does he have other KPIs where also he has more violations or any specific store that is bringing down his territory? And now if I look at here, 2046, I look at different analysis here, I want to look at 665 as a store, I think so, which has the highest violation. The moment I click on 655, now I can see that store-specific trend. And this is where it gets interesting because now, unlike Excel or any other tool that you had, you started at a high level, your analysis of the performance of an executive and then drilling down into the regions. And now you are at a store level looking at a trend, historical trend and monthly trend and weekly trend, which provides you an analysis into that specific store. So now you can actually figure out what is not working within the store, and then basically how many opportunities that you have overall in an organization for different KPIs across different locations or departments or stores where you can go and make improvements. And I think that's really the crux of it, is how fast you can get to these kind of information using your, as a business user, by just analyzing, by just drilling down, by just answering more and more questions, and it comes to you. So we are looking at here a trend of last 13 periods. You can also look at a year to date, a trend like year, period, date, and you can drill down into a specific year and into the periods, and then you can sort it by low to high, you can sort it by high to low, you can sort it by year or a period. So as a user now, you are actually looking at information that gives you a very good visual about what's happening and who do you need to basically call up and say, hey, this region is not doing well. We need to do something about it. Looks like food cost is out of control, or looks like payroll is going out of control. It is consistently high, and so on and so forth. So this is where, as a finance team, as a team that is looking out after the performance, responsible for executive reporting and other areas, you are able to contribute with much lesser time and effort and resources, and able to do a much deeper analysis, much more meaningful analysis, and provide information back to the stakeholders within the organization. So this was an example here, and we have many more examples. So let me. This is an example just to showcase the capabilities of system. Again, we have taken a data for a city finance, so it's a city budgeted data, and we are comparing against previous year expenditures, revenues, where you are spending, what categories, and things like that. So just to give it an example here now, you may have 15 years of data, and you are analyzing 5 years of data, 6 years of data here. You are analyzing the data based on either the last year or current year based on what data that you have. You are analyzing data based on how far have you spent your money. So you're almost 92% budget versus revenue, budget versus expense. You already spend more money or almost the same money that you predicted. P&L statement. So not only, I think that the example that I was giving you earlier, this system or this application allows you to build a P&L statement the way you build that in an Excel. So this is an example here based on how you actually build your P&L statement, a structured format. You can build a similar statement using this within your system. And you can select different years, you can select different data sets. So based on that, you are able to look at a financial summary, for example, and you can go and drill down further what's happening within a specific category there. So again, the advantage of doing using again a platform like Qlik is to basically look at data from different dimensions. There are different filters available here based on what you select turns green. Whatever is applicable based on what you selected is going to appear in white, and whatever is not applicable comes in gray. And a lot of times we have seen that if you have a data problems within your source system where something is not correctly linked, it will be highlighted here because what happens is when you select, let's say, fines, and you see that only these three values are highlighted in white, but there should be another value here, which is, let's say, animal license supposed to be. I'm just giving an example here. So you know that animal licenses should have been part of fine. It has always been, but somehow the data that you brought in, it is showing that it is not part of it. And this is a very important thing because most of the other systems will not even show you animal licenses. They will usually show what you select and what are the applicable values for that selection process. They don't show you what is not applicable. And I think that's where what we call is the power of gray is you can find out that there are data problems, there are data challenges within your application. And I think so this is again and we have seen a lot of customers have gone back and rectified the source data set. So just an example here, we are looking at a top 5, top 10 violations or revenue budget items and so on and so forth. You can build a lot of ad hoc reports. So, and this is something that every finance team we know and gets requests from the CEO, from the chairman, from every other department within an organization that you want to build give us this report, give us this data. How do you do all of that? And I think so. The advantage that a system like Qlik allows you is you can create ad hoc reports. Not only you can create ad hoc reports, you can send it out in Excel or a PDF, or you can print it out the way you want. So there are a lot of those advantages that you can create. And let me show you another example where we have created reports which are pixel perfect in the PowerPoint format. So so this is another example of Qlik. What I'm showing you here, it is just a different version of a product. And we are looking at an executive report here. Let me open up another example here. So this is an example here, and now you are able to look at the maps and other things. So let me show you what you can do with this. So using Qlik is a very easy something for a business user or a finance user. So when you download, it's a free software. You can go on Qlik.com. You can download this software free. You can play around with it. If you need any help, please let us know. We'll be happy to guide you, train you, and help you load some of your data. So let's say I want to create a test application, and I'm going to just say finance demo. So once I create an application, I will open an application here, and now I want to bring in my data. So how do I bring data? So now data can be, as you currently have, you already have some Excel files, or you have some. So I'm going to select on Excel files. And I'm going to just go and see if I can, okay, I'm going to select something that is useful. Okay, I have customer value data, so I'm just going to bring that. So when you bring this data in, now you have your entire sales and customer data that you wanted to analyze, for example. So I've brought in the data which says customer name, customer number, city, state, who is managing it, what product, what sales. Let's say this is the data set that you want to analyze. So I'm going to bring this data in, and I'm going to say load my data, basically. So once the data is loaded, you can bring in another set of data if required. You can now it says you can open Data Manager, basically, which shows you what the data that you've loaded and what kind of information that it has. So I'm just trying to show you that. The system will also automatically identify relationship in your data. So if you bring in a customer table and you bring in a sales table, or you bring in order information, or you bring a supplier information or invoice information, it will try and show you the linkages between your data. Now, since we have brought in only one just for the demo, we are doing this. And once we do that, as I said, I'm going to load the data. The data is loaded, and then we will start analyzing this data and building our reports. I just wanted to show you how easy it is for a user like finance team and how they can easily create their own application dashboards analysis using data sets that you currently probably bring in Excel. So I'm going to close it, and I'm going to go and say I want to open my sheet, and I'm going to start building my. So I want to first build a chart by customer. So I want to add a customer, and I want to say I want to see the sales. So I want to see sales by customer, sum of sales. This gives you automatically all your customers and sales here. And you can actually look at this information. So you can look at this information and this data based on how you look at. And you can add more things. So this is one example I want to look at. I want to see my sales versus something else. I want to look at margin, for example. So you can also create, so your gross profit number, your sales. I want to look at my cost of goods or sold or things like that. So you can, I want to look at my sales by year. So I'm going to look at year, and I want to look at my gross profit by year, for example. So that tells you how your gross profit has been. So just trying to show you how easy and how quickly you can create an analysis and application like this, and then you can actually create a story or a PowerPoint that you can share with your management, or you can even provide access to this to your team over a web or internet, or even your internet portal, and you can actually analyze. So now, example, if I select 2014, it automatically filters down the data for all your customers who are in 2014. You can further drill down to months and so on based on the data set that you have. Again, just an example of what all things you can do here. So this is an example here where we have revenue, we have variance and forecast, we have gross profit and margin in all these data. So if you look at this this data here, data manager, we have brought in different data sets from the system here. So it might be easy to just. So as you can see here, we have order data, we have currencies, we have sales order data, we have financial planner, which has your planning information, your customer data, the exchange rate, so it also converts your sales into specific currency, product and other information in calendar, of course. So that provides you. So just to give an example of different data sets and how it basically blends data within an application. And then here you're looking at how this data has been really used to show you different products, different categories. So now if you're looking at a sales channel, let's say a retail channel or an online channel or a direct channel, based on what you select, it's going to show you how and which countries and which locations, how the forecast and the trends have been, and basically how which product categories are really being sold. So and based on what you select is also showing here. If you go to the next sheet again, it also filters down data based on what you've selected. So you can look at the countries, you can look at by customer segments, you can look at it by channels for online perspective, and when you can look at by product category. For example, I want to look at by bedding, for example. Then how the bedding and what are the different channels and countries. And so again, you are able to now use multiple selections. So within bedding, I want to look at computer sets. So it shows you information about computer sets, which brands, which product, which period, what amount, and so on and so forth. So this is how you can go on analyzing the slicing and dicing information. This provides you a visual of more like which are your top performing or worst performing, how your cluster looks like. If you want to select anything here, you can just take a lasso like that, and it will basically filter down that data sets automatically, as you can see here. So you're looking at French door, mattresses, sofas are doing very well in this segment, whereas in the revenue and margin segment, mattresses, love seats, and laptops are doing better. So it again gives you a perspective of different brands and different products and how they are interacting, what's kind of correlations that you have within each one of them. Now we have 15 more minutes, so I'm going to quickly jump into a forecasting thing in terms of how we really create a forecast. So this is an example where we have used statistical and predictive tools along with Qlik. So by submitting the data there, we are able to provide you kind of a box plot or a forecast in terms of the range, the median, and so on and so forth. So give me so this is on internet. This is how it looks like on an internet once you deploy it on your machine, and you can then once you create your application, you can either publish it for everybody within your organization, or you can create different groups. So you can have different streams where you can say for finance team, for operations team, for executive team. So you can create a different streams and then publish those applications for them to look at. So there's a security that is built into this whole server infrastructure. I'm just showing you one box plot here as an example. This is again a predictive model. So we have different revenue departments or different revenue products and streams. We are looking at now here the bottom quartile, the upper quartile, and also the median. So this is again a statistical way of showing you that how on quarter different what's your mean, mode, median, and also how what kind of sales you are going to generate based on historical performance that you have. Now based on this is just the data. Now if I select anything here, like for example events, now it automatically will show me I think that's not a good example, logistics, let's see. Now, if you select logistics and education, it is going to show you how your sales or revenue are going to be for next 4 quarters. So this is an example where we are looking at a data that is being used to forecast based on historical performance. So you can select historical data for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years based on how the data is really being utilized. Let's look at another example here. This is a sales data and customer data. Now we are going to forecast based on the historical sales what's going to be my future sales. So the request sent that you're looking at it's a request that is being sent to the forecasting engine. So this is a forecast that's been predicting your sales for next 3 years. Now this data forecast is based on, and obviously there are bands, right? So your this is what it is showing in terms of. So you have a blue line that's more like a forecast how it's going to probably go, and then you also have the band, the darker gray shade and the lighter gray shade. So based on some of the events, I know you can fluctuate within that range. Now this data is based on last 4 years of data set here. Now I can say that I want to forecast only based on 2014 and 2015 and not include 2016 in my forecast. So I can select these two and I will say this is what I want to select. It will again send a request to your forecasting engine and it is going to bring your forecast back for the next 2 years. So this is again a very powerful tool. You as a finance team, as a business team, you really do not need to learn any programming, any coding for doing something like this, where you are taking help of statistical functions, which will allow you to do these kind of forecasts. And now this is an example where we are doing forecasts based on period and sales. You can do forecasts based on customers. You can do forecasts based on what impacts the decision-making process of your customers. So let's look at an example of a decision tree. So now we are building a decision tree based on how the sales will move for that specific customer. So as you can see here, now this creates a decision tree automatically based on how historical. Now this again, decision tree is a very simple one because we don't have too many variables here. But imagine if you have customer, you have product, you have channels and things like that. Example that we just saw before. This provides you a very easy and effective way to look at what will drive your revenue, and because that's what you're trying to look at in terms of optimization, in terms of forecast. It will tell you which channels, which territories, which customers, how that entire revenue growth will come in. So you can put your numbers that this is what you expect. It can be a forecast or it can be a plan. And based on that, the decision tree can actually show you how you can probably achieve that number, or how you may exceed those numbers, or you may be short of those numbers based on various parameters that you already have in your data set. Again, we do not need any technical knowledge, any programming background to do something like this. We have ready-made connectors, ready-made extension objects within the Qlik data set that will allow you to just do drag and drop. So, for example, if I want to do something like this, I'm just going to do a drag and drop of these objects and say, this is what I want to see. So it is as simple as that, and that's what we are trying to do here is, if as an organization, as a finance team, if you want to do forecast, if you want to do financial data analysis and provide reports to your stakeholders, how can you do it very easily, very effectively, without really spending too much time, and also work with large data sets in a secured way? I think so. This is the tool that definitely you want to look at. Again, apart from the tool, we have a lot of, as I said, a lot of examples, a lot of playbooks that are available for various industries, various platforms. So do reach out to us. We will be able to help you to showcase how you effectively and the best way you can utilize this tool and really make great applications and analysis using the data sets that you have. So we have 7 more minutes left, so I would definitely want to stop here and open up the forum for any questions. So please type your questions here, and I will try and answer all your questions here. Just to showcase, this is our cloud-based portal that we provide our customers access to. So as you can look at, there are different streams, different folders here. We provide our customers an access to this cloud-based platform. So if you create your own applications on Qlik, you can upload it here, and then you can provide access to your users within your organizations, or you can use one of our templates. As you can see here, we have templates for accounts payable data analysis, or we have templates for labor cost, we have templates for store analysis, we have templates for, if you are using SAP, then we have SAP data related templates. We have a lot of different templates, so basically you can use any of our templates here, and you can load your data. We have a complete document management system platform built into our portal here, where you can actually upload your data in a secured way and in your folder, or we can have a scheduler run to extract data from your systems and then upload here. And you can get started by using this application. So really, we try to, as the name suggests, we are trying to make it very easy for business users to utilize data sets and create data analysis applications and analyze information so that it can really help them to take decisions in a faster pace. So that's really what it is about. So again, there's a lot of information available out there in the on our website. So if you go to our website, please visit. We have different solutions, and we have different industries. We also have information about finance solutions. So if you're looking for those kind of examples, we also have right now a free proof of concept offer that we are providing to everybody who have signed up for our webinar and our demos. So if you would like us to build something for you specific or use your data and create and use one of our applications and provide you like something on trial basis, we'll be happy to do that at no obligation to you. But again, if you want to really subscribe to any of our app, the cost is one of the lowest in the industry. So you can look at our cost. You can start as low as $199 a month for an application, so for a couple of users, and then you can grow as you want. So there are really very easy way. There is no development cost. There is the lead time typically is about a couple of weeks, so you're able to immediately start something very quickly without really spending too much time and resources and spending thousands of dollars to build an application that can really provide you analysis like we are showing here. So again, 3 more minutes, so I'm just keeping it open for any questions that you may have. Otherwise, really appreciate for your time today, and hope you enjoyed our webinar and series. Do check our website often. We do run a lot of webinars every Wednesday or Thursday, usually every week. And please participate. And most of our videos are available online, so you can download them and or watch them at your leisure. Okay, I think it's 2 more minutes, but if there are no more questions, I would like to give you 2 minutes back. And again, everybody really appreciate for your time today, and hope you enjoyed our webinar. And do give us your feedback if you have. I would be happy to look at your feedback and improve upon or add more things that you may want. If you want any more advanced or any other topic to be covered in our webinar, do write to us. We'll be happy to take a look at all your topics that you want us to cover, and we will be happy to schedule a webinar or even one-to-one demo or discussion if you need presentation perspective. Thank you again, and all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you.